welcome everybody from the Work Better Now community. And once again, I want to thank good friend and client Larry Zogby of RDS Same Day Delivery. This is part 3 of a 3-part series where Larry, who has 8 WBN professionals working at RDS, has shared a lot of his best practices and his philosophies because he's done so well with WBN talent. So Larry, thanks for coming back. Great to see you as always. And I'm just going to start off going into the first question that I have about leading talent. So Larry, what do you envision your role as CEO of RDS with respect to nurturing talent in general?
Rob, it's a great question. And the more that we have more people, whether it's WBN or inbound people, I find my job spending more 50–60% of my time coaching, mentoring, and culture. So what does that mean? There are certain WBN people that report directly to me. And so we're going to coach them on specific strategy and how to do their job better. And there's a bunch of other WBN that does not report to me, but I give them FaceTime once a week by we do 15 minutes, just talking about life on a WhatsApp or a Zoom.
And what's your goal when you're doing that?
It's profound. It's really interesting. So let's go to the people that don't report to me for a second. It's never about the job. It's more or less, how are they doing? How do they feel? Do they like their job? What do you want to do? And we get off the script, and I want to touch their humanity about what they're trying to achieve in their lives and how can I help them get there.
Gotcha. And what about for the people that you do work with directly? Is it similar in a way or different?
Yeah, so probably 2 times a week. One is all about strategy, and the other call is the same thing.
Yeah.
How do I help you get to wherever you want to go? And what I'm finding is this. People from Central and South America, even though people are people, they're wired differently. And I'm experiencing that they're not getting this type of mentorship, coaching, leadership, vulnerability, and trying to help another human get to the next level, even though it doesn't fill my own needs. But I feel like when I'm trying to do that and investing in them, they give me everything they got. They give me their blood, their guts, and they're amazing. They just perform better.
Is that because they're getting an opportunity to speak? Is that because they feel more valued? Is it, because you care?
I think humans don't get enough acknowledgement, leadership. People don't care enough. And I just feel my emotional intelligence and just lending it to them and just talking with them and speaking with them and asking questions and giving them data, giving them homework, giving them things to think about inspires them. They're not used to that. So I can't quickly compare a Central and South American person to the American. They're different animals. They're different people. They're different. They're used to different leadership and different touches, if that makes sense.
Yeah, well, it makes sense because, of course, I've been working with Latin American talent for quite some time, so I totally understand.
They're starving for it. They're starving leadership, growth, and touches. They're not getting it in that country. I know it.
I mean, look, that's part of the value prop that what we are offering them, more meaningful work, and meaningful is just the starting point.
But to your audience, it's up to the person who's leading and directing that talent to understand the role they play in growing them. If they just give them a task and a job, that's all they're going to get.
Yeah.
If they invest time, effort, and energy into growing that, just think of a farmer, you're going to grow them.
This is exactly why we're doing this video, because you and I see eye to eye, and you do this so exceptionally well. I'm just thankful that you're okay sharing, and you're up for sharing this with everybody. So thank you.
It's a running joke, Rob, and I appreciate what you just said. I don't know how to dispatch anymore. I don't know how to put a job in the system. I don't know how to collect money. What's my job? Lead, direct, coach, mentor. I take on risk. We make decisions. That's it.
Yeah, awesome. I want to move on to my next question here. So you're catching up almost not work related with these VAs, and you're asking them, I know you're asking them about what they want to do a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. I got to imagine sometimes you're getting a response that doesn't necessarily align with RDS's goals, right? Maybe they want to be a lawyer, they want to be a singer, or they want to travel the world, right? How do you navigate that intersection, or that lack of an intersection, where those circles may not overlap? The RDS goals, which is important to you, you're the CEO and the co-owner, and then the VA's goals. How do you look at that?
It's a great question. I have a great story and a great response. We hired someone, Anna B. She's with us almost 2 years in the role of customer service. 6 months later, went into property management. She actually called me 3 months ago, and we were both crying on a Zoom. Me and my brother and her were crying. And she was sharing that she was working for us and making money and bonuses and learning skills and trades, et cetera, et cetera. But she had to give a 3 months notice because she wanted to continue her career in nutrition. And all we wanted to do was back her there. And we backed her, and backed her. And as a matter of fact, not only were we leading and directing and sharing, financially we helped her because she couldn't afford it. And even though while she's on her way out, I just wrote her a substantial check to help fund her schooling. So she gave us everything she had, and I knew it was time that we needed to lift her so she can get to where she was going, and she needed help, and we were able to reciprocate like kind, not just with money, but with love, and she's always going to be part of our family. That's just one example.
Yeah, yeah. So my extrapolating from that is the RDS goals can be irrelevant. You take an interest in a person who's given you their blood, sweat, and tears, and you're giving them their blood, sweat, and tears in return.
The goal is this: how do I help that human achieve their personal goals? And on the journey together, they know that we're supporting them, right? Through education, personal commitment, financially, rewards, time off, all of it. So they give us everything, and at the same time, we're giving them another direction, another life, belief, confidence that they can move forward in their career.
It's really incredible, and I'm going to tell you why. I've always told people that have worked for me that it's my job, or it could be our job if they're not working directly for me, to make sure you are growing in your role. And they kind of look at me funny, like, what do you mean? I got to do this job? No. We have to make sure you are growing, you're learning things, and your career, wherever direction you want to take it in, is progressing. You're taking that 5x, which is awesome.
All right, let me take one step backwards, and thank you for that. But I learned it from Jack Daly, right? I'm a Jack Daly fan I think I met him 20 plus years ago. And that's one of his pages from his playbook. But more importantly, we should be doing that as leaders for everybody, internally, externally. But I will say this: the people from Central and South America, they're more ripe, and they're for this. They're more hungry for it. I'm not finding the people from the United States as hungry for it, and I can't figure out why. It's not a bad thing, but the people that are hungry for it, they're going to wrap their arms around it, and they're going to grow 5x.
Yeah. So that perfect segue into the next question, which is, how is leading, if at all, how is leading remote team members, your WBN professionals included, if there are others, different than leading in-office professionals?
It's a great question. I sometimes I struggle with it, because sometimes I internalize how much time I'm giving to the WBN professionals and how much time I'm giving internally. So internally, people see me. Am I having meaningful one-on-ones, or are they sidewalk? Is it meaningful? And I find I'm giving more time sometimes to the WBN people. But at the end of the day, it's teaching me a lesson. If I'm going to grow and scale a great company, I have one responsibility: WBN or internally. I have to be committed to what their personal goals are. And I have to be open to what can I do to help you grow as a human? Selfishly not care about RDS. That's the bottom line.
Yeah. Gotcha. Well said. Last question for you, Larry. I think it's the last question, which is, you've been in business for quite some time. You and I have known each other for a while. What have you learned from this experience of working with WBN professionals?
Rob, I'm going to go backwards. In 2018 or 19, you did a one-on-one with me in my new facility here in Long Island City. And you introduced a new business that you were opening up, Work Better Now. And I had blinders on. I think my words actually were, there's no way I could do it, right? Because I couldn't see at the time. It was through some excrucial pain that there was an opportunity for me to try it. And I wish I did it 10 years ago. I wish I did it 15 years ago. There are circles of people around me that were always talking about hiring people outside of the United States for different reasons, all different reasons. And I couldn't catch on to it. So at 58 years old, 36 years of being in business, I would advocate to anyone in your community that they have a responsibility to use funds from the business, even if they don't believe in it, to test it. If we're not using corporate money to test new ideas, we're screwed. But I can promise your community, you will get a return on your investment 10x. If you onboard it right, treat it right, farm it right, groom it right. You'll be like me right now saying, I wish I did this 10 years ago.
Yeah, well, you're our poster child, by the way. So thank you, and thank you for sharing your insights and really going deep down inside and sharing this with everybody. It's really appreciated. It's awesome to see. It's awesome to see it also because I've known you for so long and we've done business together for so long. So
can I share a quick story?
Yeah, please.
We just hired someone about 30 days ago. I think I mentioned him earlier. His name is Roberto, and he's from Honduras. He loves technology. And he's actually, I don't know if I said this earlier, he's actually managing, I did say it earlier, he's acclimating quickly to the internal team and the technology. He has this desire and passion to learn. And it's just, all of my internal team look at him and saying, wow, he's making a difference. So we have a WBN professional who is really impacting my internal leadership team, saying, who is this guy? And he's actually lifting them.
One of the things we just had in a leadership retreat, and you know, most of my leadership team is in Latin America. We just had a leadership team, and one of the things we talked about was really kind of refining our mission. And one of the things we want to do is we want to help our clients as well as our professionals expand capabilities. And what you just said is really interesting. We're seeing this too. We bring in new talent. They're certainly digital natives, unlike you and I, right? They're digital natives. They are so impressive with technology. They are teaching us new things. We currently are putting a working group together on AI so that we can use it ourselves. And again, this is from the same talent pool that you're hiring from. We can use it ourselves and then help our clients. A big part of what we want to do is we want to expand capabilities. So thank you for sharing that.
And I'm going to give you one more story because I think it's a great opportunity. It just happened before 60 minutes ago, it just happened. So think Panama, think Javier, on boards as a inbound customer service, 6 months, maybe a year. And we just graduated him to fleet manager. Why is that important? We were just on a phone call with a friendly competitor in Philly. You got a guy from Panama who works for me as the safety manager, sharing a screen on Samsara, dash cams, and safety to a $50 million company in Philly. And they were so unaware of what this technology could do. And all I was doing what you were doing. I'm moderating, and there's Javier. You can do this, you can do that. And he was just demonstrating the impact of the AI, of how it could protect and safeguard the company from accidents. It was impressive.
Yeah.
And by the way, we sent him $1,000 just a few months ago just to take him and his family away for 2 nights in Panama and just spend time away with the family.
That's
We're
awesome.
a big fan of sending rewards to WBN and reward them with hard dollars.
That's awesome. Larry, thank you so much. Looking forward to catching up in person soon. Thank you so much for sharing all of this with the Work Better Now community. Really appreciate it.
I'm a big fan of your company, and it's impacted my life dramatically. Thank you.